What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I'm grateful to be your host for the Awakening World. I see a lot of our friends are with us, a lot of our regulars, which is great. Always put in where you're from geographically, even though I've seen it, it's fun to kind of see that. Thank you, Dorina, for always reminding me to enable closed captioning, which we now have. And I want to welcome those of you who are watching on Facebook. A big thanks to John and Summer Raymer with the Sign Network, that's spelled S-I-N-E, because they get us out to as many as 100 different groups, Facebook groups and pages. So welcome everybody on Facebook. And if you are watching on Facebook, I want to invite you to come on in and join the Global Peace Tribe. We are a beautiful collection of high vibration, like-minded souls. And yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. And we do 3 shows every weekend. And we also now are starting to do retreats and all sorts of wonderful things. And this is the place to really come and be a part of a beautiful community of people. So it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, click where it says register, and that's where you can register for our shows. And as I said, we do 3 every weekend and sometimes 4. So for example, here's tonight's show. Then tomorrow night, we're going to be collaborating again with the Illuminate Film Festival. We've got some really fun guests, including Marianne Williamson, Michael Sandler. You guys are going to love Michael. He is a delight. And several other filmmakers, part of this amazing festival that just took place. And then on Sunday, it's going to be a really wonderful combination where we're going to be meeting a new friend, an amazing musical artist who's very inspiring. And we're going to be talking more about the life wave, about healing, and just kind of like a little mini retreat gathering again. So that's what's going to be happening this weekend. And every weekend we have amazing shows. And I've got some really good stuff lined up for the next 6 weeks, including 2 more shows with the Twin Ray, Lynn Twist, and other favorites. So now tonight, I want it to be very interactive. I'm going to show, we don't have any live guests other than you. You are our guests. And so I am going to show some segments that you might have missed before, and there's segments that are definitely worth seeing again. It's kind of a source of inspiration, but we're also going to talk about the future because I've got some big decisions to make about where to take Global Peace Tribe, and I want your input. So get ready to share either in chat box, or I'll even put the camera on those of you that have your cameras on. But as always, we love to start with music, and we especially love to start with music from Om Shar. And God bless him, he's right here.
Here I am.
Hey, brother.
And God, Goddess does bless me every single day, and I do try and remember that So this is a song called "This Heart of Mine," and it's a song about remembering that we all come from the one source, and we're kind of remiss if we forget that. So let's do this. Deep breath. Let go. Hope springs eternal in this heart of mine. Learning surrender, learning to fly, knowing you're with me, my invisible friend, loving me onwards, calling me out of myself. Here I go again, trusting in life. All of the tears I've cried, clearing the way. All that's been said and done is turning to dust. And now that I'm here again, I will sing praises to the maker of my life. I will sing praises to the maker of my life. Here we go. Knowing you love me and that we're divine, my heart is open, my heart is thine. I give my life to you, your hands in this world, open and flowing, calling me out of myself. Here I go again, trusting in life. All of the tears I've cried, clearing the way. All that's been said and done is turning to dust. Now that I'm here again, I will sing praises to the maker of my life. I will sing praises to the maker of my life. Well, Hallelujah.
That's all I'll do. I'm going to gallery view. Let's give a little twinkle to our beloved Omar Shar. That was perfect start to the show. Perfect start to the weekend of Awakening World, actually. Thank you.
Namaste and aloha, everybody.
I'm just curious because there's some really heartfelt stuff in that song. Is there a story around you writing it?
Well, this heart of mine, Hope Springs Eternal, not really. It's all of my songs come out of when I'm right in the center of my heart, and I write from that place. And a couple of decades ago, I was appearing on this show out of Santa Barbara called Bridging Heaven and Earth, and I wrote a series of songs for that show. And one of the songs that came a couple of years after that was this. And that's what my recollection of this is. and I have two versions of the Hallelujah bit, because I get a little weirded out in myself when I sing things which people might think are religious. And so I normally, to some people, I'll sing one heart, one breath, one love, one life in the chorus. But I decided to sing tonight, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, which is what it was originally written for, because I thought, well, I'm just going to shine it all out there, because, you know, we are divine, we are all connected, we are all lifting each other up, and this is a format in which we can shine, all of us, we can all shine. And so thank you for that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will be hearing more from Omar Shar a little bit later on in the show, and thank you for always being here, brother. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You know, I'm still in Sedona, everybody. I know that some of you were with me. I see about half the people in this room, I think, were part of the retreat, Paul and Kiki and many, many others, Connie. And I'm still here, and I've actually decided to stay for another 2 weeks. I am really enjoying my time in Sedona. And Louisa Stowe's escrow went through. She got the 12.5-acre property right outside Sedona in Cornville. And so definitely we're talking, she's been here. We were together yesterday, and there's some really fun plans about creating community, doing retreats and ongoing events here in Sedona. So definitely thinking of all of you, whether you were at the retreat or not. We're going to definitely dialogue with all of you tonight, but I wanted to show a couple of fun segments. And people have been saying, Scott, how come you haven't done any UFO stuff for a while? And living here in Sedona right now, where the land of UFOs, I mean, all the time I'm meeting people that talk very matter-of-factly about the UFOs that they've watched, they've seen. That happens a lot here. So I'm pulling out of the vault a recent, actually, interview that I did with Elizabeth April. I did this with her in the spring, where she talks about the Galactic Federation. And when we're talking about UFO stuff, of course, Mark Sims always comes to mind. And Mark has kind of taken a break, but he's beginning to come back into public life again. Hopefully we'll have him on the show soon. But Elizabeth April is also someone I really love. Her excitement, her passion, and her ability to talk about this, and her amazing direct interaction. She's a highly empathic, sensitive who is very connected to the Galactic Federation. So here's a little bit of Elizabeth April sharing about the Galactic Federation. So what has the Galactic Federation had to say about climate change? Where are we going? How bad is it going to get? Can they come help us? What do you have to say?
For sure, yeah. So I did a 2022 prediction video, which is actually on my YouTube, and it was all just messages about climate change. 2022 is, yeah, we're going to see the collapse of the old systems at those systemic levels, but we're really going to see a lot of climate issues. They talked about volcanoes erupting. Of course, we've already seen a massive one hit. They talked about tsunamis and waves. They talked about fire. They talked about flooding. There's going to be a lot of climate change taking place. Now, I'm not going to say that I am a what is it called? Global warming denier. I'm not at all. Like, I don't really put myself into any bucket. But I do want to say that in the first meeting that I ever got introduced to the Galactic Federation, one of the things that they mentioned back in 2011 was that there is something taking place on planet Earth called a pole shift. This is what they explained. I had no idea what this was, had no idea, just no idea. So they said that basically the magnetic poles, not the physical, but the magnetic poles on planet Earth are shifting. And they said that in our lifetime, they're going to shift about 13 degrees. Now, in the past, planet Earth, from what I've learned from them, has gone through many different pole shifts. This is not an unusual thing. This is actually just a cycle that planet Earth tends to go through, and we're right here during this cycle. Now, in the past, the magnetic poles have shifted 90 degrees. They've shifted 180 degrees. They've shifted completely. This was basically the time when humanity was wiped out, technology was wiped out, the Ice Age, the Great Floods, all of that basically took place time and time again. According to, I believe, different tribes and the indigenous community, we are currently on the 7th Earth, which I do believe that this is kind of our 7th cycle in a sense. I'm not really sure what that means, but it does resonate. And so the poles are shifting once again. This is where a lot of the climate change is taking place, is with the magnetic pole shift. Luckily, it's not going to wipe us out completely. It's only 13 degrees. This is a very small pole shift, but it is taking place. I definitely believe that planet Earth is being destroyed by humans. Like, that is, not even a question in my mind. And that's definitely adding to the destruction of, the ecosystem and the environment. We also have to realize that a lot of the flooding, a lot of even the animals, this is what I've channeled from the GFL, a lot of animals will die because the migration patterns are changing, because the magnetic systems are changing. And then also they've told me many years ago that a lot of new species, a lot of new animals are actually going to start to be discovered. I don't know if that's maybe some sort of timeline hop, or if that actually is a migration shift. So creatures from the deep, in the ocean are now coming to the surface. I'm not really sure why, new creatures would be discovered or species would be discovered. But that's kind of what I've channeled. So 2022 is going to be a year of a lot of that shifting and changing. I'm a prepper myself. I really recommend that, not to be in fear, but plan for the worst, hope for the best when it comes to being in a big city, when it comes to being in a place that maybe you're at a coastline or what have you. I just recommend food and water for your family for up to 3 months. Once again, it's not a fear-based thing. As a matter of fact, when stuff does happen, you're not in fear because you're good to go. And the way that I do that, because a lot of people tell me I don't have the money, to buy all these things. And every time I go grocery shopping, I buy 1 or 2 canned goods, non-perishables. And that way it's not breaking the bank, it's not hurting your budget, but you do have something that's really stored up for yourself and your family in that worst case scenario. So once again, I don't think it's going to be completely catastrophic, but 2022 has a lot of that sort of climate change taking place.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So there you have it. And Jasmine Bear came up while she was talking. So I got to share with you, this is kind of personal, but I got to share with you a really beautiful moment that happened with Jasmine Bear. So yesterday I was teaching at Krista and Nicole's 11/11 retreat. And Larissa Stowe was there. And during Larissa's segment, Larissa asked everybody to come up on the stage so we could all sit together kind of in a circle as she played her harmonium. And of course I had Jasmine Bear with me, and because we were all kind of up on the stage, I was able to just let her off the leash. Well, during the hour that Larissa was with us, Jasmine Bear went up to every single person. And we're talking like 40, 45 people. She made a point to go to every single person and spend time with them. She would go up, and depending on the person, like some people would like embrace her and hold her. Others were like a little bit more not so sure. So she'd just give a little, a little nibble on the hand or a little kiss. And she literally went to every single person. It was pretty cool. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was special. So I'm bragging about my dog, but what can I say? That's just something I was really proud of. On our shows, I try to find the balance of having celebrities, having, kind of the big names that, people want to come to see Marianne Williamson and Reverend Michael. But I also really like to spotlight what I call the next generation. And I also like to spotlight individuals that may not necessarily even be speakers or teachers, but have remarkable stories. And as I was looking at segments that I wanted to show tonight, I was reminded of this amazing segment with Bethany Grace. And again, speaking of Larissa Stowe, Larissa introduced me to Bethany. Bethany has an amazing story. Her beloved child was murdered, and Bethany had an incredibly difficult patch of time, and how she moved through it is nothing short of heroic. She's a absolute master violinist who's played with many of the leading orchestras around the world. And so she shares a little bit about her story, and then she tunes into the spirit of her daughter, and she plays her violin live. And what she plays is the George Harrison song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And the passion of her story and the passion of her playing, to me, is one of the greatest moments we've had on the show. So I'm going to play that now. And I hope that you'll all enjoy it, because it's a very powerful segment.
Well, I am so blessed that you asked me to be here and speak. I'm going to jump right into agreement number 2, which is CCV, cultivate courageous vulnerability. Being asked to speak regarding these agreements, I found myself wondering, what should I say? How do I say it? What should I do? And I said to myself, well, you can play the violin and not be afraid. So what's the difference? And I thought, well, not really anything. To play the violinist and to play the violin in the highest way, to contribute and channel that sacred and intimate experience that we do, I need to feel comfortable. And one thing that I do is I have music to read. And even after 10 years with Larissa and the tribe, I'm still reading music, my notes. And I've always tried to hide the fact that I use music, even though it's the music stands right in front of my body when I play. And it's kind of embarrassing because nobody else in the group uses music, but it does make me relax and go deeper. So today I will face my fears and insecurity regarding what you guys may think of me and read from my notes. So what else do I do when I'm trying to channel inspiration and love without shaking in my boots to accomplish that goal? These techniques, I have written a book, which is coming out soon. It's called The Violin Whisperer, a metaphysical approach to playing the violin. I start out with agreement number 1, do my meditation techniques, my sadhana. I study and practice what I'm going to perform. I pray deeply and ask the divine to play through me. And when I walk on stage, I call into being agreement number 3. What are the needs and values driving their unconscious and conscious behaviors? And how can I tap into that love with love and to make that performance a we experience? And then of course, number 6, the agreement comes naturally into play. So last night, my fear of speaking was making me feel kind of weak and sick. I thought, well, maybe if I'm too sick to speak, that will be my way out. But with Larissa, there is no way out, only in. So this morning I did my meditations and I practiced by researching and writing and reading and contemplating and opening my heart, because I want to live not only these agreements, but my mission statement, which is to shine Divine Mother's love to all. Mm-hmm. Which now leads me about how hard it was to shine during these tragedies, abuse, and disabilities that I experienced. I guess maybe opportunities. Well, my guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, says that 75% of your salvation comes from the darkness of depression is the light of God and gurus. That they're there for 75%. They give that much, and then they told me, says that you need to contribute your own contribution of 25%, which has to be 100%, 25%. So I figured the odds were with me, and I have practiced deeply and with intention and attention and devotion these agreements. At the time, I did not have these agreements, but they are throughout they are in the Bhagavad Gita. I use the 26 qualities that make man divine from chapter 16. And so now I look at my tragedies and the abuse and the disabilities and see them for what they are. Basically, the movie and book titled The Life of the Violin Whisperer, a story in 4 chapters written by Beth Ann Farkas, which was my maiden name, Beth Folsom, my married name, and then Bethany Grace, when I came into the Shakti tribe with love and help from my Lama. So I will tell you about the biggest tragedy that came into my life, and an incident from the abuse that I withstood that led to my disability. So my daughter was murdered, and who would have thought she was the incarnation of compassion. Her name Dara means compassionate, and Dara was truly a walking, talking compassion person. And she was 18 when her life was taken. She had just sang backup for Josh Groban on the Tonight Show and on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Her career was taken off, and it came to a place to where I had to step in and save her from this guy that was, completely controlling her. He wouldn't let her talk without being on the phone, and without, he just wouldn't let her do anything, and he was always there. And so I told her, I called her and I said, I got to come and get you. This is just not healthy and not right. And I found out that he had told my other daughter that if he can't have her, nobody else can. And then I also found out from his mother that he had told her that he was going to die that day. So he took them both out the next day before I could come and get her. And at the time, of course, it was totally shocking. And I realized immediately because I have such an amazing practice that I've done every day, and amazing gurus, immediately, I would say immediately, without any hesitation, I had to forgive him for killing her. My other children did not have that same belief system, and it pretty much wrecked their lives. But then, it was very important to me to understand, like you were talking about the, number 3 that you just read, that I had to understand what was in his life, where he was coming from. And I did hear from his mother that they had fled from an abusive father, and that father, was from Persia. They left Persia to escape the abuse that the father inflicted, but he took it up. Apparently, it just is passed on. And so I had to understand that, and I do understand that, and I felt his pain, and I knew that, that's why he killed my daughter. And then a week and a half after she died, I had a husband at the time that was very bipolar. And about a week and a half was all he could handle of me, it being about me. And so he told me I couldn't go to work, and we had a concert that was dedicated to Dara, playing Mahler's First Symphony, which was her favorite piece. And he wouldn't let me leave. And he told me, nope, it's time for me now. And then I said, no, I have to go. And he says, and in order to keep me home about a week and a half, he just beat the crap out of me. And I was all bruised. I couldn't go. I was not in any shape to go to this concert dedicated to her. And it was, sadness. I couldn't believe that, you know, this could happen right after my daughter died. And then he beat me up so bad that I lost the ability to play in the symphony. I played in the San Diego Symphony and the LA Philharmonic. And so I lost my job, and I made my husband leave, of course, and I lost my daughter. And, you know, I remembered, even though I lost all that, I remembered that I have my guru, I have my friends, I have love, and I forgave again. And forgiveness is, but not to take it back, you know, just to forgive and move on, which is not easy when you're in that much pain. You know, it was just an amazing thing, you know, to lose everything, you know, that just all then, and to bring back the joy. And I just couldn't live. I can't live without, you know, joy in my life. It just, you know, it's my website is Joyful Violinist, and it's just who I am. And so I practiced joy. And another thing that helped was service, you know, greatly. And that helped me get out of myself into the bigger we space. And is there anything else that you would like to know?
Well, I just want to say a lot of people right now are responding. Andrea from Unify writes, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful."
Oh.
Eleanor Joy writes, "Beth, you are such an inspiration." And more, I mean, those are just two examples of people. Karen just wrote, "Beth, you are living true forgiveness in your bigger we space, yes, truly teaching us about compassionate love."
Thank you. I did a combined presentation with Azim Khamisa. I don't know if you know him. He had a son who was killed by a gang member. He was delivering pizza, and one of the things that the gang had to do is you have to kill somebody.
To be
and he came to the door, and they shot the poor child, you know, and it was just horrible. But he really inspired me, you know. I'm sure we helped each other, and to this day now, even though he's in jail, he's now a changed man. Mm-hmm. And he is understood, and they've started this global where they go into schools and speak about the gangs, and the man does too, that's in jail, you know, that he's totally changed. And they've, you know, it's just amazing, the love that, you know, it's almost like he took the place of his son, even though he took his son.
Yes.
It was very incredible. And he speaks, if anybody gets a chance to like follow him, I think I highly advise it. Amazing being.
I'm wondering if you'd be willing, because we're beginning to actually get close to our closing time, and we still want to bring Mirabai back on and read the final two, but would you be willing, because it's so beautiful all that you shared, and she's going to play like one of our favorite songs, "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and I just think to drop in and feel that while absorbing and digesting the medicine you've shared in your story would be so beautiful.
I'd be so happy to. What an honor. Thank you.
And here's some inspiration for you. Again, everybody's saying how inspiring, but Ayada Ayala, one of our regulars, writes, "I was almost breathless listening to what you just shared, Bethany, and my heart was aching for you and the pain you have endured. What a bright and loving presence you are. Thank you for sharing so deeply and honestly about your healing journey." Karen writes, "Bethany, I thank you with all my heart for your heart of radical self-acceptance." Suzanne writes, "Compassionate and courageous, truly an inspiration. Bethany Grace is truly full of grace."
Oh.
So there's a little inspiration for you.
That will definitely come through this piece now. Here we go. I think you'll all recognize it.
Oh, I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. You can see the twinkling.
You're muted. You're muted, Scott.
Thank you. Every time I see that, I watch that, I'm just so blown away by her passion and her, that forgiveness in action and the way she plays with so much
incredible passion. I can only imagine, I look at some of the things that have happened to me in my life, and I just heard her story again. I think, holy smoke, it pales by comparison to what she's gone through. And she immediately burst into that resplendent expression. So, wow.
Yeah. Hey, I want to acknowledge Mark Danislavsky has put into the chat box some links that we can watch after the show of Bethany recently playing, I guess, with Mark in San Diego. So definitely I look forward to watching that tonight after the show. And thank you, Jeffrey, for dancing and moving, and Sylvia and everybody else that I saw deeply connecting to that wonderful piece. So I want to be honest with everybody that I've got really mixed feelings about, people asking, if I'm going to continue doing Awakening World and Global Peace Tribe shows in 2023. I would love to. I love doing these shows. And unfortunately, kind of on the positive side, we've got this really beautiful core audience. There's like this core group of maybe 50 of us that, pretty consistently here for the shows. But our overall subscribers are fewer than it's ever been. So much to the point that actually not only am I not generating income, but I'm actually having to pay out of my pocket for the posters and the work and the things that I need to pay for the show to go on every week. And so I really need support in finding, ideally, sponsors, and at the very least, getting more subscribers. And so if we're going to continue doing this, and I want to continue doing this, I need help. I need help with marketing. I need help to get more people subscribing to Global Peace Tribe, to the Awakening World. And of course, it's as low as $20 for 3 months. And of course, some people, and I appreciate all of you who have subscribed at larger numbers, and many of you have come in at 35, 75, 150, and I really appreciate that a lot. But I just want to start letting you guys know that over the next few weeks, I'm going to need some more support in order to make this work financially. Because right now I'm having to do more coaching sessions just to pay for the show to continue. And I do want it to continue, but I need your help. Also, kind of along those lines, I really want to encourage people to come to my Saturday group, the Relationship Satsang. It's a way that we can continue to grow as a community, and it's a way that we can learn the skills and the practices of relationship skill building. And although I primarily teach it, we bring in people like the great Paul Sterling led last weekend's class because I was busy hosting the Illuminate Film Festival. And so Paul jumped in and did a terrific job. And I appreciate that very much. Where's Paul? I think he's here. So if his camera's on, I'm going to put the camera. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Scott.
Just first of all, thank you for covering, and also thank you for the wonderful teaching you did at the retreat, and for being a wonderful relationship coach and a good friend.
And thank you for being having this show. I remember when maybe my ego's kicking in, but I think we were in a conversation when you created it or nearby. and really, I just loved your commitment to you wanted to be a positive stand during the whole COVID stuff, and to be a place where people could still gather. And I'm still touched by how many, over 1 million people have seen this show, and probably a lot more than that. So I'm deeply touched by that. I'm glad I could help. Yeah,
thank you, Paul. You've definitely been a big help, and will continue to be, and we'll continue to find wonderful ways to collaborate. Absolutely. Responding to some of the comments, yeah, reducing it down to one night would be a possibility. But then again, if we reduce it down to one night, it might be harder to get people to subscribe. I'm not sure. Definitely your feedback is important. Most of all, if everybody can just get involved in encouraging people to come. I do recognize that COVID's kind of over. We're not stuck at home. And so, people want to be out and about. Listen, I'm loving being here in Sedona and going to events, hugging people. It's awesome. And of course, when I was with all of you at the retreat. So I get that. Now we are coming into winter time. It's colder. There are going to be less events. So I'm hoping that in November and December, we can increase our viewers. And I'm putting together some really, really strong shows, especially, to be honest, in December. I'm working on some pretty strong guests and topics. So, honestly, this year or this season, our seasons are in 3 quarters or in quarters. So we do, 4 seasons each year. Really, we need about 1,000 subscribers. And this season, we're down to less than 200. And we've had as many as 1,000 subscribers for previous seasons. But it really is just getting smaller and smaller each time around. So I'd love for us to get back up to 1,000 subscribers. Like, let's hold that vision. And let's also make it happen, really share with people. Pick shows that you really liked or moments that you really liked and share them with people. Remember, you can go to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, globalpeacetribe.com. Maybe I'll pull it up a little bit later and show it to you. And at the very top, the top playlist are dynamic segments. It's a great way to introduce people to the awakening world. And the other thing, as I say, is join our Relationship Satsang group. We meet every Saturday. It's about 2 hours long, and we take real challenges that we're having, relationship issues, and we talk about it, we work on it. And myself and Paul and other love coaches who are present share. Sometimes, like Kristen Hoffman comes on a regular basis, and she sometimes sings a song or two. Louisa Stowe is going to drop in and sing. So it's kind of a more informal, we don't live stream it. I live streamed the first couple ones just to let people know about it, but now it's a closed container, meaning the people that are there, it's just for us, so we can talk honestly about our personal issues. And again, it's very inexpensive. I'll put into the chat box where you can get more information about it. Come and join us. And that's also a way to support yourself to learn relationship skills. And it's also a way that you can help to support me and what I'm doing. So it's a win-win. So I'll put that into the chat box. I've got a couple of other segments that I definitely want to play tonight. And today is 11/11. It's a big day for a lot of people. So there's the New Age 11/11, and there's also Veterans Day. And I want to honor both. I want to start by acknowledging anybody who has been in the service. That's a big deal. And our veterans have paid usually incredible sacrifices. And even if the more recent wars were tragic that we were even there and doing it, but I still honor those people that volunteered or joined because they wanted to support their country. And there was something beautiful about that. And most veterans have paid a terrible price for that time. So I want to honor our veterans. And I also want to honor the power of 11/11 and how many of us are in meditation. And the Twin Ray talk a lot about how it's a portal that's open, and it's a very powerful time. Of course, with the lunar eclipse a couple nights ago. I actually went out and watched it. It was pretty amazing. I was able to see it at 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was was able to see it, so it was cool. So in honor of the twin flame, in honor of the twin ray, I want to play a little segment that I've never played on the show before. It's from their Miracle Mentorship Program, which I'm part of. And it's all about, this is an 8-minute segment where they describe what heaven on earth really means. And this 1111 portal is a time for us to connect on a deeper level, if you will, to heaven on earth, which is already here. I love the twin ray because they are, for me, living embodiments. But before we go to the twin ray, Bethany talked about Yogananda. He's my master teacher. I know he's the master teacher, I think, for Mark, Larissa Stowe, and many of us. And so I just wanted to bring him up for a minute and honor and acknowledge beloved master teacher Paramahansa Yogananda. And for those of you that are in Southern California, a reminder that next Thursday night, November 17th, there's going to be a special event honoring Yogananda. It's a musical inspired by Yogananda taking place at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. And that's where he had his Mahasamadhi. That's where he left his body, was in that hotel. And Reverend Michael Beckwith, Reverend Temple Hayes, both of whom are regulars on my shows, are going to be there. It's going to be a pretty special event. And I'll put the information up also in the Zoom room while we're watching this next video. So blessings to Yogananda, blessings to our master teachers. And let's now tune into our beloveds, the Twin Ray. Takes a moment for me to pull this up. This was recorded at their new space in Ashland, Oregon, when I was there.
So heaven, as the topic of today's satsang, is living heaven on earth. So what is heaven? Heaven is your home. Heaven is your true nature. If we look at the etymologic origins of heaven, we can see that it means either sky or heave, to heave up, to lift up, to ascend, be brought higher.
It also is etymologically related to Havel, or the wheels of destiny, the wheels of life. Also the chakras are also known as the Havels. Yeah. And what does that signify? It signifies that everything in life has its cycle. Every moment in life is cyclical. And those wheels of destiny and how they are lived through decide the destiny of the being.
And you integrate that concept of 7 heavens, those 7 filaments, or the 7 rings, or even the 7 planets, and how they interconnect to the 7 chakras of the body, or the churches, the 7 churches, as it was spoken in the book of Revelations. And so these wheels, or these vortexes of life, is your perception. And one of the pathways is to ascend your perception to absolute truth, to see that unwavering truth, the truth of yourself. And so the spiritual journey itself can be seen in answering 3 main questions. Who or what is God? What is all of this? What is the universe, the multiverse, all of creation? What is the meaning of this? What is this? And who are you? Who is self? Who are you really? What are you? And when you go deep enough and you excavate and you start looking into that, you realize that the same answer, it's not so much an answer that you can give through the mind, it's an answer that can happen through your direct realization. And that direct realization answers those 3 questions.
But one answer applies to all 3 questions.
Yeah, and what's the promise here? The promise is total fulfillment, is total utter fulfillment in your life. A happiness that doesn't leave you, a love that isn't taken away from you from moment to moment. The love that you are shines brightly into all your experience of life.
And that's because love, true love, cannot be taken from you. It cannot be added to you, and it cannot be taken from you. It is the essence of you, and there is nothing that can ever change that. Not what you've done, not what has been done to you. Nothing ever can taint that love. Ever.
Because it's your true nature.
Ever.
And so really there's only really one message here and one outcome. It's, you know, what are you? It's that love. What is heaven? It's that love. But that love can be understood from different perspectives. It can be understood from the physical level as what you love doing, what you love experiencing, what brings goodness into your life, what you interact with. It can be at the emotional level, at the relationship level, where there's that feeling of love to someone or something, or to yourself even. Love at the mental level could be having a deeper understanding and loving unconditionally with no judgment, just holding absolute compassion for yourself and all beings. And love at the spiritual level is that unconditional, undivided principle, that true nature. That is your being, that is the truth of this reality. And so returning to that love is really the game of life. Remembering yourself as love. And so how does one do this? Who already knows all this? Because everything we're sharing, it's not new. This is the knowledge of your own being. This is nothing that we can offer besides maybe articulate it in a new way. But there's generally, and what we teach is 4 different paths that are really the same path to the same essence of truth, of self, and of love. And one path of that is that devotion, that absolute devotion to devotion itself. It doesn't have to be a devotion to someone or something. It can, but it's not limited to that. It's devotion to devotion, because devotion creates a dissolution of the selfish tendencies of one's own narrative or one's conditioning. As we say, unconditional love unconditions the mind. So the more that you experience that, you're absorbed into the truth of your being, of that love, it unconditions the causal conditioning of family narratives, societal narratives, these different narratives that have created a picture of a perception that may be incomplete. So devotion opens up the heart and allows the mind to come into the heart so you can have a greater respect for yourself and for others. And so again, it's that devotion which is the path of divine love in its expression. There's the path of divine service, where when one is in service to others selflessly, and you can make your life an offering, even if you have to do any tasks physically, you can make them an offering to something greater, an offering to your family. It can be an offering to spirits, it can be an offering to the earth. But when you make your life an offering, what happens is that the selfish tendencies of what do I get from life change into what can I give? What can I give to others? And there's this beautiful biofeedback loop that just fills you up. There's this beautiful positive experience that happens.
The universe wants to support that.
Yes, because...
And so it does.
Yeah, because we're all in that one continual expression of the true reality being unity. And so when you are unifying with that field, with that spirit, with that presence, with that truth, and you're demonstrating that with your actions, with your words, there's a fulfillment that comes back. And so that level of service, that divine service, no matter how small, no matter how grand, it's all supporting the whole. And one of the greatest service that can be done is to self-excavate.
The inner excavation process.
To look deeply under the hood to go deep into the conditioning, go deep into the perceptual separation of fear.
We call it light diving.
Yes, instead of shadow walking, you can call it light diving.
We call it light diving.
Diving into the shadows to bring the light.
I love those two. I really, really love those two a lot. Yes, Yogananda Dance is November 17th. Did I say December 17th? Yes, I meant November 17th, next Thursday. So thank you for that. I wanted to play one more sequence, and then we'll kind of go into conversation. Anything you guys have to share, come back to Om Shar. But this is one of my favorite things that takes place on a regular basis on the Awakening World. Obviously, the musical sequences, what Om Shar does every show, the Om Shar songs, I think, are probably people's favorite moments in general. And of course, we have other amazing musical artists. And of course, Kristen Hoffman is one of the most popular. And so this was one of her sequences on our show while Keishi Chai is dancing. And so we get the double pleasure of a spontaneous Kristen Hoffman channeled song and a Keishi Chai dance. They had not rehearsed or prepared it. It was all spontaneous and quite beautiful. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll have some conversation and some and one more Om Shar song.
Such an honor to be here tonight, and I can't imagine a better subject than honoring our body temple to celebrate with music and dance. And it's always just one of my most favorite experiences in the world to collaborate with Keishi. And this is going to be an improvisation, so I will be diving into a Solom improvisation musically, which I think of as soul light, weaving with Om, the vibration of the universe. And Keishi is also going to be improvising to the music, and we're just going to be listening to each other and tuning into our bodies and to each other and to this beautiful planet and see what wants to come forward. And I like to invite everyone who's watching. This is a co-creative process, so send your intentions into the music, into the dance. We will be literally interpreting and feeling and sensing your visions as well. So here we go. Let's see what happens.
Turning into your body
listening, listening, tuning and listening.
I'm appreciating some of the comments you all are writing in the chat box as well. And I think Kristen is one of those people that has just touched all of our lives so deeply. And she is such a kind human being. I tell you, one of the blessings of my life is becoming friends with Kristen, Omoshar, Larissa Stowe. All three of them are not only incredibly brilliant musical artists, but they're really, really lovely people. And I'm grateful that they to call them all friends. So, you know, a reminder that Kristen, a great way to support her is to join her membership program. And tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, Sunday afternoon is when she has her monthly Sonic Soul family gathering. So go to KristenHoffman.com and join a membership program. It's only $11 a month. It's the smaller amount, or you can do 33 a month or 77 a month. It's a great way to support her. And I'll see you then on Sunday afternoon. I know some of you have joined, and I will see you. And I do see you there every month. So before we kind of wrap up with Omoshar, just wanted to see if anybody has any thoughts or comments that they want to share on camera. I do appreciate what people have written. Thank you, Nikita and Ayada and Paul, and those of you who have put comments in, Jeffrey Colbrook. And if anybody has anything they want to share with the group, let me know. Put something in the chat box. And I will bring up Omoshar right now to visit for a moment. Omoshar, what comes up for you in watching this?
I'm a mix of emotions all over the place. I'm not emotions, just floating with the openness of what we share in the Awakening World, the Global Peace Tribe, and then having it encapsulated by Kaisha and Kristen. It just takes all the thoughts away and it realizes it gives me the remembrance of why I do this. You know, we give this freely. We give it freely, not for any gain, but because we are the Awakening World. And there were some comments coming up, and I too cannot imagine this not continuing. So how do we accomplish that? But also, this is a foundation for something even greater. There is such a momentum created by you and Deborah and all of the Global Peace Tribe participants that it's hard to imagine that it'll dissipate. However, if you look at the world, you know, our attention is so fleeting, and it's like for me to want to financially support the Global Peace Tribe, I must get 10, 15 events every single day in my inbox saying, join me, this, that, the other, it's going to change your life. This, you know, give me $1,000 and I'm going to, you know, enlighten you, etc., etc. And for me, I've had to cherry pick just the 3 or 4 things which are of the highest vibration. And, you know, I leave the Global Peace Tribe Awakening World shows each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so not high, but so open. And so much in love. You know, I'll leave here and I'll share with my flatmates upstairs. I'll be just this glowing beacon of love with them. And I'm kind of rambling here, but it's so important that we continue with this momentum and this focus, but also ready to let go, because something new is going to birth out of this. Even, you know, the butterfly, the whatever that thing it is that comes out of the chrysalis. And, yeah, I know Dia was saying something similar to that in the chat box as well. You know, how can we support this? You know, I can knock on people's doors, but you know, what do we do? Yeah.
You know, another thing too is hold a vision for sponsorship. You know, all it takes is one person who goes, yeah, I want to see this continue, who, you know, has the abundance. I mean, it's not that much that I need, but if we could, you know, if we could have $10,000 a month, whether that's coming from one sponsor or, you know, 500 people at, you know, $20 each. Yeah, that would be great. There are a few people that have offered to come on camera. Fanny Starchild, and she's going to be playing music tomorrow night live with Vigari as part of tomorrow night's Saturday night show. Fanny, welcome back. We love you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can. And you have a poem for us.
Yes, I just happened to pick a card today from Osho's deck, and it says the gate of heaven. So I thought it was perfect.
Please share it with us.
It says, heaven and hell are not geographical. They are psychological. They are your physiology. Heaven and hell are not at the end of your life. They are here and now. Every moment the door opens, every moment you go on wavering between heaven and hell. It is a moment-to-moment question. It is urgent. In a single moment, we can move from hell to heaven, from heaven to hell. Hell and heaven are within you. The doors are very close to each other. With the right hand, you can open one. With the left hand, you can open another. With just a change of your mind, your being is transformed. Your heaven and hell from hell to heaven. Whenever you act unconsciously without awareness, you are in hell. Whenever you act conscious, whenever you act with full awareness, you are in heaven. He says in the story from the samurai and Hakuin, saint, here open the doors of heaven. Here is how we open the doors of heaven. Silence is the door. Inner peace is the door. Non-violence is the door. Love and compassion is the door. So let's knock on heaven's doors right here in our hearts. Feel it within yourself. The door opens. And so it is.
Thank you so much. How perfect. Because we had the twin Ray talking about heaven, and there's Osho, and you know, my wife who passed away loved Osho. She actually danced with him physically when they were both still alive back in India. So thank you for sharing that. And people are very excited that we're going to get Fanny and Vigari two live songs tomorrow night. So this is a great little appetizer, and tomorrow we get the main course of Fanny and Vigari. Thank you so much. The great Paul Sterling has something to share. I don't know what, but he said that he'd be willing to come on camera and share a little bit. So, hey, Paul.
Hey, Scott. It's mainly appreciated. There's a bit of an echo. I don't know what's going on. It's okay. You're muted now. So all I wanted to say is I would love for everybody to prompt Scott to do another one like we did in Sedona, that you get a chance to get together, to be with people, to hug people, to do exercises, to I thought all about the 3 shades of intimacy, about emotional, physical, and sexual intimacy, and to see the people getting it right there. I love Zoom. It's amazing, but nothing compares with being in the same room and learning and getting the music right there and getting to walk up to the caves. So yes, keep this Zoom alive, and in between, let's meet together in person. It's such a precious gift to get. And thank you, Scott, for making that happen. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, there will be, the Sedona retreat was a success. And we'll definitely do more retreats for sure. And I'm looking probably San Diego, maybe Sedona again in the spring, and also Asheville, North Carolina, for our East Coast friends. So thank you, Paul. Thank you for your appreciation. All right. Yeah, San Diego, right now I'm planning on San Diego next. I don't think I know we talked about maybe Valentine's Day. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it together by then. Maybe, we'll see how things flow. So thank you everybody for your comments. And I'm gonna go to Omar Shah to see, I'm not sure if he wants to do a closing song tonight or if he wants to wait till tomorrow. So I know he's got something new. Omar Shah, you get to choose. What's up?
I'm going to do it just because, what the heck. And I know that Sylvia had a hand up. I don't know if there's anything that she wanted to.
Yeah. Scott, thank you for all of this, you and Deborah and everyone. My perspective is, I don't do TV. I came to the Awakening World or Saturday Night Alive in Zoom, in COVID isolation. And so my background is as a seminary trained mystic activist. You know, I'm used to being out on the pavement and singing in front of the Hilton down from the Capitol in DC. And SNA and AW have been lifelines. And they're much more passive than I'm wired to be. And I'm, you know, it's hard for my womb being gender creative activist self to come and feel relatively invisible in those identities from Ohio every week. And so I'm not in a space to do marketing. And I say that with a great deal of love and respect and appreciation and frustration.
Thank you, Sylvia. Well, I do appreciate your contribution. Sylvia's a regular at Kristen's monthly gathering. She always does an opening that's and a closing that's very, very beautiful of the container. And look, most of us don't like to do marketing, right? You know, the fun part is coming on and being together. And that's why salespeople make the most money on this planet, or among the highest, because it's
not no, but when I say marketing, I don't want to invite my friends to come, which is what I would do, because I feel invisible. I don't want to share something that's hard for me to be part of.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding you. Are you saying that because you're not kind of a regular presenter on the show, that's hard for you?
No, because when people present, it's about men and women. And when I asked a question about non-binary people, the response was, oh yeah, they're important, they're bringing the future. And the conversation went back to men and women. And that's a habitual pattern. And when you talk about, it's about presenters. It's not about us usually engaging together to practically address something that's going on. It's being fed information or wisdom or wonderful transmissions and music.
Well, Sylvia, you may want to come to the Relationship Satsang group, because that's where it is everybody interacting to the degree that they want to. It is much more interactive. It is true that the awakening world is presentational, and hopefully you've seen that I'm trying to make it more interactive. What's also interesting is when I make it interactive, people are still fairly shy. Not that many people are volunteering to come in and converse, which is okay. So, I'm doing my best to try and feel out our audience, what our audience wants, and to balance it. And so the Relationship Satsang group is where we do talk about very real relationship challenges, issues in the world. How can we support each other? And so I really I can feel your passion. I will do my best to give a bigger presence to non-binary people. Thank you for that reminder. Trish, who has been a frequent host, she's always pushing in those directions. But then, to be honest, we also get, we get kickback also sometimes, right? And so some of the shows we've done that have been more on the edgy side, some of we lost sponsors because of that. So it's a tricky one. It's a tricky balance. I'm making it up as I go along, kiddo. So anyway, thank you for expressing yourself, and thank you for the beauty of your heart. And, perhaps come on into the group tomorrow, Saturday morning. I think you'd enjoy it. And I know I'll see you on Sunday in Kristen's. Take care. I saw that Jeffrey wants to come on and say something. Jeffrey, I'm bringing you up on camera. Hey, buddy.
I'm in awe of you, Scott. I really am. You are the master connector. And I've come from, and I of course come here from, my main source is the Resonance Science Foundation. We're bringing in a completely new understanding of the nature of reality. I haven't come here to offer a lot of that other than directing folks to the Resonance Science Foundation, but I've been with them for over 12 years, and I'm more than welcome to share with you the little tidbits of what's coming into fruition, which is a paper that'll be published in A Whole New World. And I know Humanity's team is lined up with the scientifics and Greg and Braden and Nassim Harami. But if anything I can do to shed little light and offer little tidbits about how space is no longer what separates us, but space is what connects us. And space is infinite in energy. So I don't know if, this is the most precious piece of my life, being with all you folks. And of course, I'm a dancer. I can't help it. That was what I was, and to allow me to join in and be part of that. But I also might have a little else I can offer. And I do share as much as I can. Market, I'd be delighted. I do share this information with as many people, and maybe I can bring some of the people back that I know that were coming here that may have gone in other directions. Just we are in a great buffet of an awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. I mean, I agree. Like Omishar was saying, I mean, I get a dozen emails every day from amazing things going on. So, you know, there's a lot happening. Mark, you were shining something, and I assume that is connected to what Jeffrey's talking about. Oh, you both have, okay.
Okay. This is the beginning of a technology which is going to be the real crucial part of whether we can complete humanity's transition to a galactic community. If we don't make it, we can all as souls go and continue our evolution on other planets, I guess, in the universe. We're eternal. We all know that, I hope.
Yeah.
But we all love Earth, and we love the planet so much, and we love our humanity so much. We really are all working desperately to try to bring in the solutions so that we really don't have to start over.
Yeah.
But you know, we will all be eternally working in the universe, but I hope we're all been assigned to planet Earth right now. And the science is coming out from the Resonance Science Foundation that is crucial. It gives us the energy that we're going to need. It'll give us the gravity control we need. It'll allow us to have the physical ability to become a part of the galactic community. And that's where I'll be glad to share whatever little tidbits from the Resonance Science Foundation.
Yeah, continue to do that, and we appreciate it. And we're looking forward to Nassim's paper. Do we know when it's going to get published?
Well, we're well over a year. Nassim moved to Europe for reasons which, you know, are being smart. and he's lining everything up because it's huge. I'm not in the inner circle, but I'm in the circle. But beginning of next year, which is already well over a year past due, but he has to get everything right, because this is the biggest scientific advancement ever to hit the planet. This is really the biggest news, and the reason it's the biggest news is the mainstream academia will have no defense against this paper. It outlines, it puts together every constant, where it comes from, how it's all related. It's the most amazing piece of work. It finishes Einstein's work. In other words, it's going to totally shift. There's no defense, resistance will be futile.
I love
the information coming out. Yeah. And I have been a privileged person to be in the gallery for the last 12 years watching this develop, and it's the greatest honor I don't even know why, but I am so grateful. And if I can share any little tidbits along the way about and educate any of the awakening world about some of the little basic principles of what the unified model is coming, but just that space is not empty. Space does not separate us. Space is what connects us, and it's full of infinite energy, or the field, which connects all of us. Most of us know this in some sense, whether we know it spiritually, but it's no longer just a spiritual concept. It is now, we know how. We are all one, but how are we all one? It is now being written in science and in physics, exactly what the mechanisms that does connect all of us as one.
Beautiful. So, Jeffrey, thank you for reminding us of that. Thank you so much.
I love you guys. You have no idea. And if I can be, any further service, I'm here for you.
Beautiful. I see that Dia Therese is writing, thank you, Jeffrey. I became a resident science delegate in 2009 and bought the original crystal. And I see that Mark has 5 of them, 5 of the crystals. Are you saying, Mark, that you want to come on and show those 5? Is that what you're saying? All right. So
I do recommend the crystal. It is high technology. It is the basic technology coming forward. It structures water. Water is key. They got a sale on, you know, for Christmas. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm not selling the crystal, but it's something that is a very, very health enhancing technology that is coming about, and it is related to the whole concept of the unified field. So
beautiful. All right, well, thank you. And we find out about that at the Resonance Science Foundation. Put the link in the chat box, okay? Thank you, Mark.
So, sure, Scott, thank you.
Oh, Mark, did you want to say something?
Just briefly, briefly. I have 5 of these. I went all in, and I read about them, go to the site, and this is like a distributed energy. If Nassim can't make a giant machine that does these things, so what he has done is broken it down into little individual parts that we can participate in. But this is my experiment here, to have these in my auric field, and it's pretty amazing. So I actually got 5 of them. So, but that's all I wanted to say. That.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you. All right. Well, we have gone over. Hey, I want to acknowledge Wowza is in the house. And so many of you met her, of course, at our retreat. And she's incredible. She's been on the Awakening World a couple of times now. So just wanted to say hello to Wowza, one of our favorite new friends. And there's Connie. Connie is with us. Connie and Andrew, thank you so much. And Scotty Satori, who of course was with us in the retreat. I'm putting camera on some of my friends. And beloved Queen Nikita, she who does I Am Mantra, is with us. And if you have not already subscribed to I Am Mantra, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful service that she provides. So thank you, Nikita. Bonnie and Roger, hello to both of you. Just want to acknowledge you. I'm going to acknowledge everybody who's got their cameras on. So if you turn your cameras on, I'm going to put you on. There's Kiki. Kiki was, of course, at our retreat, and we celebrated her birthday. And so thank you, Kiki, for being a beloved member. And George Noble. Hello, George. There you are. One of our regulars who's with us almost every show. So we appreciate you, George. And Lynn and Leaf. Hello, you too. Thank you for always being there. You're usually the first people coming on. And we already saw Sylvia, but I'll bring her on one more time. Sylvia, we do love you and appreciate you very much. And finally, going back to Omashar. So that was a fun little spin.
That was a great little spin. And just again, Sylvia, I acknowledge your courage and your bravery. Love you so much. Thank you. And resistance is fertile. That's my mantra. Work that one out. So this is a song, a beta song. This is the fourth song that I've written for and premiered on the Awakening World. And Jeffrey, get up and twirl your crystal. And Eleanor, have to watch the replay. But so we'll start with this, and then we'll go to this. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
The awakening world. The awakening world. The awakening world. The awakening world. The awakening world is rising through our hearts, through our lives, as we take the next steps together, walking toward arm in arm, the awakening world. The awakening world. Nothing left to say, nothing left to do. Let your spirit shine, let your spirit through. Time is what we have, time to think anew. Let your inspiration flow, let inspiration through. The awakening world is rising through our hearts, through our lives. Oh, as we take the next steps together, walking toward arm in arm. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 the awakening world. The awakening world. The awakening world. The awakening world. Here we are again, loving all we see. Lift each other up, let each other be. Healing all the past, healing you and me. Loving all that's gone, loving meant to be.
What a wonderful, wonderful new song. I love that. I'm going to have that running through my head. The Awakening World. Oh my God.
That's in beta at the moment. I only finished it today, and there was something about the timeline. It's 11/11. You got to birth things right,
Right.
and it will change. You can put in the comments or whatever how I could change it. The lyrics are good. I got to get the format right, and I was really tripping on my heart. But hey, family, thank you.
Oh, well, that was beautiful. We love you so much, Omar Shah. Thank you. Hey, a couple of the last things. People did ask about the Amazon Smile program. So I did find the QR code for it. So there is where you can buy your products from Amazon, and we get a little tiny piece, but it helps out. Or if you want to donate straight out, here is the QR code for donations to the Global Peace Tribe. And that's always an option. Jasmine Bear gets all of her products through Amazon Smile, so it supports us, right? Yeah, that's right. So, okay, there you go, sweetheart. All right, well, everybody, thank you. Tomorrow night, we're gonna have a really fun show, Omar Shah.
Yes.
We're gonna have music with Omar Shah and Fanny and Vigari.
Really looking forward to them.
And we've got some really great filmmakers that you're going to meet. And we're going to hear from Marianne Williamson. So it's going to be a good show tomorrow night. And then Sunday is going to be kind of more of a Global Peace Tribe mini reunion. And we've got a really fun new guest you're going to meet, amazing musical artist, and of course, Omar Shah. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. I really appreciate a lot of lovely comments that come in that I appreciate very, very much. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow morning for Relationship Satsang and tomorrow night for the Awakening World. Good night, everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste. Now must go.
Exactly.